So we move on to a poll question that I asked earlier in the day today before we're recording. So we didn't get a ton of votes yet. But at NXT this week, we saw the debut of Ava Raine, better known to the rest of the world simply as the daughter of The Rock.
Yeah, Simone
Johnson made her debut with NXT as part of the group. I mean, obviously it just happened, but she made a debut with Joe Gacy's group at NXT.
Schism?
Yeah, Schism.
They must be like a Tool fan or something. That's what I'm guessing.
I mean, they can't. Sanity's already been taken, I guess.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't mind the name of the group. I just don't like the leader of the group. I'm just not we've talked about it. I'm just not a big supporter. But I will say, though, to your point with the question, I'm seeing here, obviously they're going with, she goes by Ava Raine.
Yes.
So now she's in this new faction. So
the question we posed is when and I'm not going to say legend because we've had lots of people like, let's say Mike Rotunda. I wouldn't consider him a legend per se. I mean, every WWE superstar is a legend in their own right. I mean, they sold an action figure.
Or at least in their own mind.
Yes. But anybody who's essentially a child of a past WWE superstar or WCW superstar, when they are brought in, should they be given a new name with no mention of their lineage, or should they be strongly using their lineage?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And so far, not many votes yet, but 60% are actually in fan of new name and no mention. So in this case, Ava Raine, related to who? The Rock. Never heard of him. Don't care. Doesn't matter. Let Ava Raine do her own thing and be Ava Raine. My eyes, I mean, I'm not a fan of nepotism in the rest of the world, without a doubt. Obviously, nepotism sometimes is how these people get to this point, for sure.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
But I think in terms of like Dominic Mysterio, would we care 1 ounce or iota about him if it wasn't Dominic Mysterio?
No, and here's the thing. I see the poll, and the polling is 60-40 in favor of this new name, no mention stuff. I gotta go. I'm on the 40%.
Me too.
I like the fact that, and I'm a wrestling fan. I've been a wrestling fan since the 90s. So, I mean, that's dating myself a little bit. When I was watching DX, when they just had their 25th anniversary situation, I was watching back then. I am a fan of the history of the business. To me, I've always enjoyed that, where you hear these names, where you're like Tamina Snuka.
Yeah.
Like, who would give a crap about if it's just she goes by Tamina and then she just comes up with a name? No, she's the daughter of, Superfly.
Yeah, Natalia Hart. I mean, Natty. I mean, it is a good one right there. And I've even said before that with the right storyline, I think that Natty versus Charlotte, if they really hone in on their lineage and that history,
that could be money.
That could be money, just like we're used to seeing right now. They got, with Logan Paul, Paul Reigns, Crown Jewel, and it's got him like facing off like a big heavyweight fight.
Yeah,
I mean, I could see that main eventing a night of a WrestleMania, Hart versus Flair. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's and especially to the audience that's been around, like we have following the business as long as we have. Why not? You could build the hell out of that, and for me, it's like there's such a long lineage. I mean. It's like how I look at it, and it's almost like a tongue in cheek, but it's almost not. Mm-hmm. If you're Samoan and you're in the wrestling business, you're probably related to the other Samoans in the wrestling business. It's one of those things. Like if you're part of that Samoan heritage, you're. I mean,
look at it like
business.
Roman Reigns. That whole gimmick right there. They're called the Bloodline
for a reason.
For a reason. And that is working for them. And that's working for a lot of people. The fact is, too, there's a lot of people who've gone out of wrestling who sometimes, I'm not saying they're going to tune in and watch 3 hours of Monday Night Raw every week, but they would have a passing interest when they find out that Charlotte Flair is the daughter of Ric Flair. Stuff like that.
Or it's like, or I mean, obviously this hasn't happened. Yeah, I'm just fantasy booking it. But you could also say, hey, this whole big thing with the Bloodline, just so you know, the Bloodline has family ties to the biggest box office attraction in the entire world, who goes by the name of Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Mm-hmm. Like, you could tie it into that, and you could bring even more eyeballs to the business. And look at it this way: Randy Orton, his dad is who? Cowboy Bob. That's the thing. Yes, does it?
Cody Rhodes is much better now than he was as like Stardust. than a gimmick of his, oh, I get it, his brother was. But even that was a stretch. If you're a young kid, you know, when you saw Stardust, you didn't necessarily always put together that his dad was Dusty or that his brother was, Gold Dust, stuff like that. But being Cody Rhodes and kind of being the American Nightmare and tying in Dusty Rhodes a lot more to who he is definitely has helped him along the way more than any of those gimmicks.
And going, I'm going to circle back to Dominic Mysterio. Let's be honest. Yes, he's gotten to use the family name to get to where he is because let's be honest,
Dominic is nothing without being Dominic 100%. Mysterio. Of all the people, he is nothing without Dominic Mysterio. And I'm going to steal a phrase from JBL. If he was an aspiring wrestler, he'd be playing single A ball, so to speak, at your local VFW. Because let's be honest, without the Mysterio name, who the hell is he? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's not well, according to him on Monday Night Raw, he is this generation's Eddie Guerrero.
No. He flipped it. No. He changed it. He stopped himself and he
stopped and said that Eddie Guerrero
would want to be, he essentially
was his generation's Dominic Mysterio.
Exactly.
But in all actual honesty, all jokes aside,
did you see what Legado? You see what he said?
I did not know.
Yeah, he pretty much he shot that down real quick. Like, no, bud. Like he put it on Twitter. Like Dominic was talking to him, comparing, doing the comparison with Eddie Guerrero, and Legado was just like, no, that's not how this works. Like it's. I just thought that was funny because obviously the whole Legado del Fantasma, that whole situation. Those three guys, and I think Zelina Vega is a better wrestler than Dominic Mysterio. Dominic is, and we've talked about it before, not to talk too much about AEW, but WWE wishes they had Hook. You know what I mean? Like, Hook already gets it. Dominic, I hope he gets it. Like, I don't root against people, but like, you hope he gets it. I think this whole thing with the Judgment Day, he's getting better, I would say, and I think it's great because he's working with a talent like Finn Balor, for example, and he got to rub elbows with AJ Styles. So I think for him, I hope he develops more into, and maybe he could come up and be, somewhat, I wouldn't say he's going to be Eddie Guerrero because Eddie Guerrero was one of a kind, but if he could at least hold his own, and by the time his career's done, he's had a hell of a career, I hope that happens. He's got a lot of work to do.
So circling back to Ava Raine,
yes.
Let me put you in Triple H's chair for a minute. So Ava Raine, Samoa Johnson, she walks into your office while she's obviously signed the NXT developmental contract. She walks in your office prior to making her debut, and she says to you, I don't want to just be The Rock's daughter. That's a lot of pressure. I'm not The Rock. I'm the first Simone Johnson. So if you think about putting me out there in a Flex Kavana gear or doing the people's elbow, that's a lot of pressure to live up to, and I can only fail if you put me in comparison of The Rock. What would you tell her?
I mean, I agree with that. I agree that those are big shoes to fill, but here's the thing. You unfortunately, I mean, I shouldn't say unfortunately, because you are very fortunate to have what you have because of who your father is. Your father got you in the door. Mm-hmm. So, unfortunately for you, those expectations are not going to, like, regardless, those expectations aren't going anywhere, whether we're talking about her right now. She wanted to be Ava Raine, but sorry, we're still talking about her as Simone Johnson. Yes, because here's the thing, especially in this modern era of social media, it's not hard to figure out what your familial ties are. That's it. It's not like this is 1986, so to speak, where you're not, maybe public information, like you could make it look like back in the day, in the public eye, Undertaker, would do this, and this. Behind closed doors, he's probably just a normal guy. It's kind of hard to do now with this thing called social media. Everybody's got a phone, so you could be walking down the street. Oh my God, look who it is. Snap your camera, or snap the video on your phone, and you can record something. So it's to me, it's one of those situations where, if that was her approach to it, which I don't think it is, I think The Rock has obviously worked with her, and let's not forget, The Rock's ex-wife, Danny Garcia, she's a prominent figure in not necessarily in the wrestling business, but in the entertainment business as well. So I don't even think that conversation comes up because I think the expectations were already set. Like, oh, hey, this is who my mom is. This is who my father is. This is what they have done. Yes, I want to go out and do my own thing, but I know the expectations of me because of my familia ties. That's just how it is. So for me, it's I don't you don't have to necessarily like first package, hey, this is The Rock's daughter. But you can still have subtle ties where people can figure it out. She's not going to go on and cut her first promo.
You can go out and be your own person.
Yes.
And we'll let you. We're not going to make you do the rock bottom or the people's elbow or any of that stuff. But we're not going to not mention that you're The Rock's daughter.
Exactly. It could be more subtle, I guess. Like when you approach this, it's more subtle. I'm good with that. You don't have to just come out, cut your first promo. Hey, by the way, I am the daughter of. You don't need to do that. You can build it a way where it works. Like obviously when Charlotte Flair came in the business, guess what? Last name's Flair. Kinda. If you're a Flair and you're in the wrestling business, 9 times out of 10 you're probably related to the Nature Boy. Just saying.
Rock's daughter should be Rock's daughter.
I agree. That's yeah. Do it and do your own thing. You know, make your own path, but embrace it. You know what I mean? Don't kind of shove it away. Embrace it.